As a new year approaches, many of us are reflecting upon this past year, what we've accomplished, special memories, how far we've come, as well as looking at the changes up ahead. Those New Year's resolutions or trips we have planned or things we just want to accomplish. Well, as I think of life changes and goals and just looking ahead overall, I think of an organization I was introduced to back in 2018 while I was in Los Angeles on a leadership tour. Never have I come upon a company, an organization, a nonprofit, any of it that truly is a reflection of the possibilities of change, growth, and life transformation as Homeboys Industries. Now, I'll confess, I went into Homeboys having a very fixed mindset, but I came out with tears, empathy, and truly humbled with a new perspective. To better understand what I'm referring to, I'd like to just dive right in and introduce our guest today. Hector Verdugo is the Associate Executive Director of Homeboys Industries, and he's been there going on 17 years now. Now, Homeboy Industries is the largest gang intervention, rehabilitation, and reentry program in the world, welcoming thousands through their doors each and every year. Welcome, Hector. Thank you so much for taking time to join us here today.
Hey, thanks a lot, Holly, and it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Now, I've got to tell you, being introduced to Homeboys when I was out there was such a humbling and enlightening experience. Would you help those listening understand what Homeboys Industries is and how it even came into fruition?
Sure. So Homeboy Industries was founded by Father Greg Boyle, who's a Jesuit priest, who had his church right in the middle of like 4 different housing projects in Boyle Heights. Now, at the time, that was probably the biggest housing complex, like just a bunch of them all next to each other. I'm from another housing, Ramona Gardens. It's a housing project, little north, also in Boyle Heights. And that place where Father Greg was at was just like a mess to me, like 8 different gangs. These guys are warring with each other. Everybody had money because of during the time, it was like crack sales and they had, like downtown right there. So they just give a bunch of, lost kids, a whole lot of money and reasons to, gangbang, and that's it. It was a mess down there. And Father Greg was right in the middle of it. And he decided to, instead of just being a regular priest and doing his priestly duties on a Sunday, he got really involved in the community and said, how come no one's paying attention to this? How come no one's paying attention to these kids that are killing each other? And he got tired of doing the funerals for all these kids and said, we have to do something about this. So from what I remember, there's another book that was written by Celeste Freeman. It's called G-Dog and the Homeboys. I remember just looking at the way Father Greg befriended the gang members, the kids really, and catching them, in just in spots like when they're shot up in the hospital, he would go visit them. He would visit a lot of us in juvenile hall. That's where I met him when I was a little kid. I was like 14 years old. And then he just started like, how can I help you guys? He made a school, and then he started a little business here and there. And then the LA riots happened in '92. He got approached by Ray Stark, who was a famous Hollywood producer, and they bought their first bakery. And next thing you know, Homeboy Industries was up and running and rocking and rolling.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Quite a story. Now, what type of services are offered at Homeboys Industries?
So at Homeboy Industries, we have a variety of services, 12 steps classes, NAAA, anger management classes, domestic violence classes. We have one-on-one therapy. We have free tattoo removal. We have our businesses that train you. It's just so much yoga and, learning how to dance with some of our therapists. We had classes that like Baby and Me, we have so many different classes where people can come and just really, when people come to us, they're just so surprised in how much we do under one roof. They're just like, wow, We have lawyers on deck that'll help reunify your family, with the classes that you're taking and going to courts and getting your kids back. It's just so much that we do here. And to me, Homeboy Industries is like it's a miracle factory. And we've been around for so long, so people know that if I want to change, and I have tattoos on my face, and I still have this gang lingo and dress and all that, who's gonna take me? Homeboy Industries will take you. We will embrace you. And this is the miracle factory. I've seen people come in here with their heads down and their hoodies up and won't look at you when you speak to them, and little by little gain the confidence and take the hoodie off, look you in your eyes, graduate from high school, going into college, going into universities, and really just, you know, loving their lives now. Compared to gang banging is a symptom of hating yourself, hating, um, and why not loving yourself and transmitting your pain to whoever is across the tracks.
Wow. I remember when I was there, I was really impressed with all the services offered. And just as you mentioned, it is a miracle factory, and everything that you're a part of is a miracle. When I was there, I got to dine in your cafe, and I really enjoyed that. I think I had the street tacos, but just watching all of the workers and the customer service that was taught and the care that was being shown, there was love in there. And it caught me off guard. It really did. And I really enjoyed my experience. Now, in a world that is short staffed right now, I would imagine that for homeboys, the goal is to have turnover, such as in the cafe or whatnot, so that they're growing and moving on. But what is the time frame that someone comes and seeks assistance at Homeboys and perhaps works there, whether it be in the cafe or just going through the program? What does that turnaround time look like?
So initially we give like, look, you have 18 months to be with us at Homeboy Industries. We're going to pay you a decent wage. We're going to handhold you from the beginning and kind of get you through this, like, I call it like the triage of life, like, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's like, breathe. We got you. We got you. We're going to do everything that we can to help you get you above water. And then we need you to swim. We need you to, this is your life. You're the master of you. You made the choice to be here. We're going to give you the training wheels, and then little by little, those training wheels are going to come off, and you're going to see that you are the one, by looking into your pain, understanding your pain, releasing your pain, and healing from that. You will see the potential of what you have and where you're going to go. And I always tell people, start dreaming. Remember those dreams you had when you were a little kid? Get them back in your head again. Like, watch what happens. Do not stop dreaming. And for a lot of us, our dreams were too small. We have to dream bigger because we reached the goals of our dreams, and now it's time for more. And I love that. I love being a part of that.
I love that. And you guys do continue to dream big yourself at Homeboys.
Oh yeah.
You just a few years ago went worldwide with the global network. Can you help us understand more about that network and who's involved and how those listening can even find out what connections with Homeboys might be in their area if they're wanting to get more involved?
Sure. So in the big, we were getting approached by all these different organizations across the United States that would come over and, hey, we love your organization and we wanted to visit, and we have open doors. Come on. And if you don't have a tour guide, I'll pick somebody, one of the trainees that's been here for a little minute, and have them, guide you around Homeboy Industries. Our doors are always open. Now, what our visitors started to ask us about is like just technical questions, which meant we had to explain a lot of things, and which meant we started taking a lot of time out of our day from working with the brothers and sisters that are coming in to working with organizations that need information. And we started to realize this is taking too much out of my time. So we need to designate a certain couple of days throughout the year. And so we called it the Homeboy Network. And during the first the first network, 3 days, I don't know what you would call it, seminar that we had, one of the people said, this is not like a local thing, this is a global thing. And I remember looking at Father Greg, like we had probably 7 different countries that were, and it was bigger than we thought, we put the word out and so many people came. So then Father Greg said, well, this will be the Global Homeboy Network. You just named it right now. And that was it. So we have organizations all across the country and beyond that come and learn from us. Few unique things that we have, it's that all the services under one, that one-stop shop type of deal, and our navigators and our therapists and sometimes the new things that the therapists bring, like EMDR, a certain type of therapy, tapping therapy, and all these things that deal with trauma and just to relieve us from the anxieties of what we grew up with and all. But so that I'm not sure, I can't remember the exact dates of our Global Homeboy Network. It's been going on for years now. And go to our website, homeboyindustries.org, and look under Global Homeboy Network. We'll give you the dates, sign up, and yeah, all are welcome. Come on down.
Great. I'll make sure to post the
Yeah.
dates in the show notes also. I'll make sure to look those up
Okay.
on your website. Now, when I was there in 2018, I was so grateful for a spontaneous opportunity to be able to hear the story from one of the guys there. Just as we were passing the man in the hallway, the guy who was taking us on our tour asked
Okay.
the gentleman if he wanted to share a story with us. So very spontaneous. And I was
Yep.
so thankful because he went on to share with us how his dad was the head of the gang in his neighborhood. And so it was expected of him to just step into those shoes as he got older. And I'll never forget him telling us of his turning point to coming to Homeboys. And that was after he had been shot. He said he was shocked he didn't die from it, that it didn't kill him. And I asked him if he was afraid to come to Homeboys because of the gang knowing he was trying to seek help and get out. And his response still resonates today with me, as he said that from a young age, he knew he would die in the gang, but what scared him was when he got shot, he didn't die. He continued saying that you have to come to a point that you actually want to live. And that's when you find the courage to get out. I learned that day that many didn't really have a choice to get in a gang, and they only have a choice to get out of it. And I think that applies so much in life, that we all can find ourselves in tough situations and circumstances, but in the end, it's up to us to make the changes, to choose to seek help when we need it. So what advice would you have for listeners on whatever life circumstances they may be in right now about how to go about making those choices of change, and especially as we enter this new year?
There was something that I think it was Father Greg or Steve Avalos. I can't remember who brought this up, and it was, and probably they picked it up from somebody else too. But this too shall pass, the good and the bad. So when somebody, I feel like if somebody asked me, like, or is talking to me about their issues and stuff, that's just the pain that they're going through, and thus it's like, this will pass. Don't give up. Don't make it worse by just marinating in pain or marinating in what someone said to you or how you feel about this. Start to, for me, it's what's the future look like? What is, today we're dealing with this, tomorrow's going to be a better day. It's always looking forward to a brighter future. I know that's talk and everything, but it's to apply that, to think of that in your mind, is to see in your mind's eye how you're going to, not how you're going to come out of it, but how does it look when you're out of it, getting out of the pain, joy in your heart, feeling satisfied. That's, for me, that's one of the things. I mean, this is, when I'm speaking to somebody, they're giving me specifics and I'll give them specifics. But if we're going broad, this is how I would say it. And yeah, man, it's just like I said, it's, you're the master of you. And if you're used to drama, and we grow up with it in our homes and stuff. A lot of us come from generational trauma, and there's always screaming and crazy stuff and all that stuff. And all I want is peace. we have to get out of the addiction of drama, out of, not loving our neighbor, like show peace to yourself and to your neighbor, and watch how things change. I think that people really want it. And I have to tell people to repeat what you just said when they're speaking to me. Repeat what you just said. All you do is complain and cry and this and that, and I get it, but that there hasn't been a break in your cycle of drama and trauma, and we need to break that. We have to think different. We have to see and accept love. You're worthy of it. We're all worthy of love. There's a bit of a spiritual aspect. I know Father Greg's a Catholic. I'm not Catholic, but there's just the bottom line of Homeboy Industries is radical kinship, radical love. I say unconditional love, but it's, sometimes, when I say it, I feel like I'm lying, even though I know it. But I'm a human being, and I know when I get burned, it hurts, and I put my guard back up, and I have to, me being, my position here at Homeboy Industries, I have to tell myself, no, man, this is just the way it is. People come in here raw, and yeah, that's going to happen. And get over it. Let's love each other. Let's love each other through this process, and watch change happen. And it's just an honor to be a part of that.
Yeah, breaking free of those addictions. I love how you put that, not to marinate in it or to make matters worse, to make choices that just send you down that spiraling path.
Yes. We have to stop, and instead of cursing somebody, we have to bless them, and we have to mean it. We're like, sometimes if I don't have a conversation with that person, and I have to think they're going through something. This is not personal. And anytime that I do have the conversation with somebody, like, bro, why would you do that to me? What happened? It always 100%. It's not you, dog. It's this is what happened. My mom just, hung up on me for the 50th time. And all I want to do is just talk to my mom or my kids or, whatever. And just all this stuff. My wife, just life,
I've heard a saying before, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, that's a big one right there.
Now, during your time at Homeboys Industries, what have you seen be some of the biggest obstacles for setting some of those goals, or as we're talking about, kind of those New Year's resolutions, if you will, and then not following through or having those setbacks?
I guess in the beginning, I feel it's the curse of not worthy. You set the goal, and you're not worthy to be that. If the non-worthy part is a huge piece in my mind of that are goal stoppers, and that, through therapy, through camaraderie, the love and the kinship here at Homeboy Industries, and really the constant message of love and you are worthy. A lot of us come out with this like religious stuff of God, just, oh, it's because of what I did, and that's why God's punished me for this and that. And Father Greg says, what God do you believe in? That's not my God. My God is too busy being in love with you to be disappointed in you. And ultimately, if you take that quote from Father Greg, my God is too busy being in love with you to be disappointed in you. I am loved by the Most High. I am worthy to be loved. And just accept that. It changes. And for me, it changes me. And then you start to believe it. Once you start to believe that I am worthy of love, you'll watch everything around you start to change. You'll start to feel loved. You'll watch the ones who didn't love you, they won't gravitate towards you anymore. The ones who love you will gravitate more towards you. And you start to notice, like, the difference. You go back to your neighborhood, to your, like, if, they're all gang members and all that. You go back to your neighborhood, you feel out of place. What am I doing here? This feels weird. You know what I mean? And because you're changing. And, now that things are starting to, we say a street vibe or that, this and that, and quantum physics, and just now science it makes sense. It's like, yeah, you don't vibrate with the people that you're around. You just hired your vibration, and you can't hang out with people with low vibrations. You guys just don't mix no more. And I watch that with couples, the guy would come here, or the girl, and the other couple would be outside, not healing. And I watch them grow apart. And they're like, I don't even know why I'm even with that. I don't relate at all. And it just makes perfect sense. It's because you have love, you're healing, and you're a different person now. I love that. I think I wish we had like scientists here to really give us the science of what is happening in our lives. That would make so much sense. If somebody, I guess, we look and we trust doctors and scientists so much with their little lab coats and all this stuff. And they would say, yeah, well, this is what's happening to you. And this is why you're not meshing with other people. And let's see how high we can take this vibration.
A good social experiment for sure, right? Now you tap into that foundation of just needing to feel the love and the worthy of that love. What other success factors have you seen in those who are successful at accomplishing those goals and the changes that they're hoping to see?
I mean, are you talking about success as in monetarily, or with different jobs, or what?
No, is it more just like commitment, sticking through it? Like how do they accomplish the change that they're wanting to accomplish when coming to Homeboys, or adapting to any change that they're trying to set in their life?
Well, from what I see is, I see a lot of us, probably 70, maybe 80% of us that come into Homeboy Industries would fail the first year. Fail as far as like, go back to drugs, go back to gangbanging, say, I don't want to be a part of this. This is, you guys are, we'll say whatever they got to say, and then they leave. And 100% from that 80% will come back. They will always come back, because I feel, because I looked at it, I've been here for a while, so I just think about how this works, and I feel like you could quit, but I know what you're going back to. You're going to go back to the crap that you just try to get away from. And you're going to realize, if you've been here for a week, 2 weeks, a month, what we're serving. We're serving fresh water, and you could drink as much as you want. And over there they have mud. And you can't stand it. And I know you can't stand it, because we're human beings, and we want to feel love. We want to feel cherished. And at Homeboys, we cherish you. So, fuck you, Hector, and fuck Homeboys. I said, it's cool, man. We love you. Come back when you're ready. And they're always going back, because they're always yelling, you know what I mean? And they always come back, and they always come back with, I'm so sorry. Please let me come back. And I was like, water under the bridge, homeboy. Go do a drug test and get your ass back to work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Just the love that exudes from that place. Now, at Hector and Holly's Highlights, we have a signature question, and that is, if you could go back and encourage, inspire, or equip yourself as a child, what would you tell yourself?
As a child, I would constantly, if I could go back, and I would constantly say that you are worthy. You were constant, you are worthy of everything that your dreams, that you dreamed up about yourself. You're worthy to have that. You're worthy to be loved. You're worthy, to express yourself in any way. Yeah, I would probably say that.
That's beautiful. I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing with us today, Hector. I'm sure there will be some listeners who would like to connect with you, perhaps even get involved or even donate in some way. So how can they best reach you?
Well, I guess you could reach me. I would say Instagram, so I can know who I'm talking about. And my Instagram handle is Hector Verdugo 213. You'll see a picture of Father Greg and I. Um, if you want to donate to Homeboy Industries, uh, I would encourage you to go on our website, um, homeboyindustries.org, press that donate button. But also, I would encourage if anybody's in the Los Angeles area and they want to come and visit, they could come and ask for me. They could refer to Holly's podcast. What's the name of your podcast?
Holly's Highlights Podcast.
There we go. And I would be like, oh yeah, I remember that. And so that would be, you know, the best way to do it.
Perfect. And it truly is a memorable experience, truly. Well, again, the feeling of humility just sweeps over me when I think of Homeboys. And I think of that conversation with that man that I just hold dear. When we left that day, I bought a Homeboys Industries mug from the gift shop. And every time I use it, I pray for the men and women, not only seeking help and growth there at Homeboys, but also for the men and women serving there at Homeboys, showing such love as you expressed and cared as you shared and all the services that you do. But just perhaps simply to those who need to know there is hope, there is healing, and there's a place and a way to embrace the change that they want to see as they step into that new year. So thank you so much, Hector.
Sure, Holly. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.